Just could you just give us a bit of a roll call on a couple of the guys that aren't obviously involved? How bad's the Charbel Tassapali hamstring?
I don't think it's as bad as we first thought. Grade 1 to 2. So speaking to Sharps, he's really confident that he'll be back before the end of the year. Physio is a little bit more cautious, but yeah, I'm hoping to see him again. They're always going to be a couple of week jobs. It's unfortunate that we've only got 3 weeks. So if we see him, that'll be a bonus. But it's not as bad as we first suspected.
Obviously, you've lost Hall and Lawler with HIAs. How tough was the Miller ban to take? Obviously, it must have been pretty tough because you appealed it.
Yeah, a little bit hard. Understood it was a penalty and a sin binning. It hurt us at the time. I thought that would have been punishment enough, conceding 4 tries while he was in the bin. I thought they might have just gone easy on us for that one. But we didn't think, it did have the ban with Milky's record. But yeah, totally, we accept it and we move on. It's a tough one. We'll miss him this week, obviously, but gives him a chance to freshen up for next week.
And it means you've got a bit of a spine headache, haven't you? How many sort of permutations have you been tossing up between the coaching staff this week ahead of Hull?
Plenty, yeah. Obviously, everyone's sticking their hand in for scrum half. Liam Watts, Westy, everyone, all the big fellas want in at half back. But there's a few options we've got there. We've had lads who've played there, previously, like Brody, Greg Eden, Westy. They've all played in the halves previously. So we're just having a look at a few combinations this week, really. There were big losses for us, but yeah, there's plenty of options.
And we're just saying players obviously play better when they're relaxed and happy, and obviously it's a sticky situation at the moment. Is there anything you've been able to do to try and alleviate the pressure from the playing group ahead of this week?
Yeah, we just try to come in with some energy and some positivity every day. It was a really tough one to take last week against Warrington, and the good thing was it was a short turnaround, so we probably had one less day on the field. We didn't have time to sulk and mope about. We didn't really review that game as a team. We thought, the best progression for us was just to move forward, and that wasn't glossing over it. That when we made them messages nice and clear, we didn't want to gloss over the fact that it was a pretty poor performance. But at the same time, we just got to get positive back this week. So we made training nice and short and snappy, and just getting everybody smiling really. So trying to take the pressure off a little bit, and it's good to be back home this week, and hopefully the boys can lift after last week and have a good performance.
Last home game of the season, 3 games remaining. Danny, how significant is Friday's fixture?
Yeah, it's pretty big. The one, but I say that every week. The game in front of us is the biggest game of the year, and that'll be no different next week, or wasn't last week. So it's exciting that we're at home. It's the last one, so we want a decent performance because it could be some lads last time playing at Cars, and the team. Every team in sport moves on next year, so it's the last time at home playing together. And certainly from last week's performance, lads have got a lot to prove this week.
What's your take on Hull at the moment then?
They've got some fantastic players of Hull. They've been a bit unlucky with results recently. Seeing them drop out the race for the top 6, but they're a dangerous team, and probably shackles might be off them a little bit this week. So I expect them to play some football as been trying to do the last few weeks from what we've seen. So, but I know it's the old cliche, but we've got to focus on ourselves. We can't focus too much on Hull. We've got a lot to right from last week.
Nathan Massey comes back into contention for Friday. If he plays, it'll be his 300th Castleford appearance. You'll have played with him and against him.
I can't remember. I must have played against him. That's way too long ago for.
He's been there a long time.
Yeah, I might have watched him as a kid on the telly. I think I used to watch him. Sat my dad's knee watching Mass play all them many moons ago. But yeah, what quality bloke, and a legend of the club. To get 300 games, at top level is an unbelievable achievement. Never mind for one club and the way he's done it. He's a great bloke and well thought of here. So hopefully when it is his 300th game, he gets a reception, the performance he deserves.
And just lastly from me, do you get a sense of what that is, as big as the game as it is on Friday, do you get a sense of what that 2 points could mean to the club?
Yeah, every 2 points is massive for the club since I came in. All the wins are vital, and we've been striving and working hard to get them each week. So we just got to concentrate on this game right in front of us. Try to go out and win games like we do every week, and then move on.
Yeah, just a quick one on Gaz Widder. I think a big milestone for him as well. But obviously, you'll work with him at Great Britain as well, won't you? I mean, can you put into words what he's done in his career, sort of thing, and how important he is at this stage as well?
Yeah, unbelievable. I think Gaz is on 300 career appearances this week as well. So we spoke about Mass, but for 300 for Gaz, and to play in the NRL and not just play there, just was outstanding in the NRL for years, made a fantastic career, and coming over here, I had the chance to work with him at GB and now at Cass. He's fantastic bloke to start with, so down to earth and just works hard, does all the little things right in training, which is what you need to do in a career like he's had. So yeah, an unbelievable talent, and it's a massive achievement for him. So hopefully the boys can put in a bit of a performance for Gaz, because I think he's broke some molds in what he's done in his career going over to the NRL and play halfback, fullback, having a long career of it, representing his country so many times as well. And he's certainly a bit of a legend of the game.
And with Milky being out as well, is there a bit more, not pressure as such, but a bit more of a role for him on his shoulders to sort of get the side around on tomorrow night?
A little bit. He does that anyway. Whether Milky's there or not, I don't think his role will change in the talk he brings and his organisation. I think he'll just play his own game with Gaz, and like same with Blake in the other halves. He'll take control, and hopefully whoever's in the other half back will help guide them. But that's what they do week in, week out. They work really well together in that spine.
Just firstly on Paul McShane, I think it were unlikely that he'd be back before the end of the year. But if you needed him for that last game, would he be close for that?
I think Mac will tell you he could go out and play this week. I think if he straps it up. So we just got to go through the standard protocol. He's got to see a specialist, I think, that week of the last game. And that'll probably give him the all clear or where that's been. It's too hard to call at this time. I think it's only been about 12 weeks since his operation. So, we're not going to rush Macca and put any pressure on Macca to play. He's been out training today with the lads who aren't playing, and he's good. Just happy to be back on the field, happy with the ball in his hand. It's great to see him running around and the energy he brings to the group. But yeah, it's probably way too far to give an answer on that. If he's fit, he's fit. If not, then it's absolutely no dramas, because it was a bad injury he came back from.
No, fair enough. And Hollow without any recognised halfbacks this week. As a coach, do you have to anticipate a different kind of game plan?
A little bit. We've seen the halfbacks go off injured in the last few weeks, which it's not nice to see. Obviously Truey picked up a bad one, which was awful. But yeah, they've got Hoy jumped in there and Lovadua, and they've got some good players still jumping in at halfback. So we don't know what combination's going to come at us. We don't know too much about what shapes and things they'll throw at us. But we've just got to focus on our systems. Again, we're always big on, if we're just defending how we should, then we should be able to handle, what most teams come at us. So we just after last week, we're back to focusing on us defensively, the systems in the middle, winning tackles, staying square on edges, managing the shapes that come. So we can't focus too much on what Hull's going to do and who's going to be out there for them.
A lot of people are viewing this as your best chance of points in the last 3 rounds. How do you see it?
Just same as I viewed last week, going in 100% confident that we can win games. So I'm not looking at anyone thinking, oh, that's a more winnable one than the next. We're all professionals, coaches, players. We all go into each week thinking we can 100% win that game. And that's how we're viewing it now. We can't look at, it's Hull or it's Wigan next week, it's Warrington last week. We can't be looking at where the chances are. We've got to be full beans every week in the situation we're in.
Cass have lost 10 home games this season. Is there a real determination to give the fans a performance to enjoy in the last game there?
There should be that every week, shouldn't there? There should be, every time you play at home, you should be lifted. You should be focusing on your performance, wanting big games for you. Your crowd should be lifting you. So there's no talk of, right, so it's last home game, so we better play well. That's ridiculous. We go out every week to play to the absolute best of us. Hopefully it will be an advantage playing down here. We should like playing at home, like the crowd behind us. So, but that should not change.
Obviously, just reflecting on the game last week, did you have to have some honest conversations with the squad, or was it a case of coming on Monday and kind of wipe the slate clean?
I think they spoke very well after the game, as you'd expect. The mood was terrible. It's probably one of the worst change rooms I've been in for the atmosphere after the game, which is rightly so. The performance was terrible, really, certainly in that second half. And lads spoke well. They said the right things, as as often that can happen. You know, your leaders are speaking, your experienced players, everyone's having open, honest conversations. I said at the time, you've probably been in these situations many times this year where you've not been happy with your performance and you've said the right things in the sheds. It's all about backing it up and walking that walk now. To come up Monday when we're back in, roll the sleeves up and go again. We didn't do much focus when we came back in on that Warrington game. It was, this wasn't good enough. Let's move on this week. So it's all about actions now. It can't be, talking in sheds after games anymore. We've got to go out and lead by example.
Just a quick one on Greg, who obviously we've just spoken to. Obviously, having a guy who's been through the academy, been to a grand final, born in the town, wasn't he? How important is it to have a guy like that who understands maybe more than most the importance of retaining a Super League club? And can you draw on that at all as a squad?
It's huge, yeah. That's what you want. You want homegrown players. You want lads who've come through your academy. You want people who are passionate. Cass fans as kids wanting to play for Cass, growing up. And then living the dreams and then staying at the club. That's what you want to build clubs on. And to have someone like Greg and Mass, who we've spoke about there, who've been at this club for a very, very long time and experience those highs and the lows. Those experiences, we can draw on in these situations. You know how much it means to them. You've no doubt that it means the world for them to go out and perform each week. So there's certainly inspirations for the rest of the group.
Just the sort of mood in the town this week, the last few weeks, has it changed at all? Is it more positive since the Wakefield game, or more nervous because it's towards the end? What's it just kind of like outside?
I'm pretty positive everywhere I go, so it's you've got to be, haven't you? You can't be nervous really. We're positive. We're a positive staff, positive group. So hopefully that spreads a little bit. A bit of positivity spreading around. That's what we need.
Hey, I just wanted to ask you, obviously coming to the back end of the season, you guys have had a few injuries, and you touched on after the game, there's a few little effort areas that your side need to work on. I guess, how do you find that balance come the back end of the season at training when it comes to working on things you want to work to, but also managing fatigue?
It's tough. It's a balancing act because everybody's so different. Everybody's body's different. Everybody recovers differently from games. You're still wanting some intensity in sessions because you need to drive that intensity so you can have that at the weekend. You've got to train at certain levels, but you're managing different bodies and different abilities and different fitness levels as well. So it is a big balancing act. A lot of it is probably down to the boys at this stage of the season. They know where they're at. They have honest conversations. If they're not feeling good or if they're feeling good, what they can do, what they can't do, what they do away from training is massively important. That professionalism of if you maybe missed a session, then you go pick it up on a day off or do what you need to do to get yourself in the right place mentally and physically on game day. So yeah, we can do a bit of a balancing from our point of view, but a lot of it comes down to professionalism of the players, I think.
And if you boys getting their chance this weekend with the void of those players that will miss this weekend's clash, what's the message to them? And are you confident they can come in and do their job?
I'm very confident. There's been some really tough conversations with lads who haven't made the 17 in previous weeks. There's lads who probably I certainly think they deserve to play and they've missed out. So it's an opportunity for them. We're not looking at who we've got missing. We're like, well, who's starting? Who's getting a chance this week off the bench? That's exciting. I'm excited to see these blokes in action because they've worked hard in training. They deserve a crack. That's why you have a big squad. That's why Super League has a big squad. It's not all about your 17, your best 20 players. It's for everybody to muck in, to work hard in training so them levels are good. So when they get the opportunity, they can just take it with both hands. So I'm excited for the lads who are jumping in this week.